I would say the unlucky one.
Yeah, the unlucky one. Yeah.
The plan didn't go out as planned.
Yeah.
So we can call it the hot, the rising, and the flop.
Yes. Hi guys, welcome back to Everything Thai Football with me, Pote.
And Lorenzo again. So sorry that we didn't
last week.
meet with you guys last week. We were a little bit caught up with work and all, but we are here again.
Yes.
And we are back with the Thai League.
Yes.
Yes. So
even though we weren't here on our supposedly third episode, but we are active in our Facebook, updating the score for you guys throughout every match of the Thai League and providing you the highlights.
Yes. Hope you guys enjoyed the highlights of the league that came back on the 6th and 7th of February after a month of stop in action due to the COVID-19 and all. But the league is up and running again, and you guys will be following it with really hectic schedule and with so many matches happening in a very short time. So please, be updated, and we're here to help you guys with the scores, standings, and all. So maybe let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure.
So the league is back on the last weekend, and for those who are following, as we are at the time as we're recording the video, the league is also being played in the midweek games and will be played again in the weekend games. So this will be the arrangement until the league finishes in March, and the matches are spread across multiple days instead of just the usual Wednesday and Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, so basically there's no Thai football on Monday and Friday.
Yes, you're correct. The weekend matches are played on Saturday and Sunday, and the midweek games are played on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Right.
So 2 matches on Tuesday, 4 on Wednesday, and another 2 on Thursday. So the only 2 days that you guys will not be able to watch Thai football is actually, like you said, Monday and Friday. This is actually to spread the matches across, so that all matches in the midweek can use VR and have a chance of the fair refereeing, and that is due to because the capacity of the VR right now is maximum 4 matches per day. So in the future it might be increased, but at the time, so that is the capacity, and that is the reason behind these match days. On the plus side, you guys will have a busy things, keep you busy in the weekend and the weekdays after work.
So you guys can follow all the matches throughout the free TV, also on the YouTube channel of the respective club that are playing, even their Facebook channel. And for the ASEAN fans, I believe that you can get caught up with all these Thai League matches on One Play Sports.
Correct. Yes, in the league broadcast partner in Singapore. So they'll be bringing live matches, selected matches of Thai League 1 in multiple languages. I think it's English, right?
Yeah, English,
and Bahasa, yes, and then Vietnamese.
Right.
So these are the ways of how you can watch the matches, and if you guys want to support us, then you guys can watch the highlights
on our YouTube channel.
Yes, and please click like, subscribe, and share the videos.
Even comment if you want to. Right?
Yep.
So I think that's maybe enough of like the Thai League, because only 2 days that they wouldn't have Thai football to watch. So let's get into other details and other aspect of the Thai football that's been going on in the past week. Yeah?
Exactly. Yes.
Right. So I think a key topic that we want to update you guys, or clarify I should say, is regarding the centralized venue for the World Cup qualification for Group G.
We are still on that issue.
Yeah, we're still on that issue because I think in last week, or even this week, we've had some foreign medias, Malay media, even Thai media, saying that the centralized matches has already been agreed to be played in the United Arab Emirates.
Or the UAE, which is one team that is in the group.
In the group, yeah. So I think we at this point, we can clarify that as of right now, the host for the Group G centralized venue hasn't been decided yet. That is because, as we mentioned in our last episode, the host for the World Cup qualifier will be chosen if they are the host of the AFC Champions League 2021 group stage. So that will be the main criteria for any country to be selected the host for the World Cup qualifiers.
So right now we can safely say that it's still up in the air. Thailand is still in the race to host the World Cup matches, and tentatively when AFC announces the host for the AFC Champions League group stages, you can get a hang of who will be awarded the hosting right for the World Cup matches as well. Maybe a little bit timeline on that.
So on the 15th, respective member association or the countries of interest participating in the AFC Champions League will be required to submit the expression of interest form. So basically that will say that, we are interested to host the AFC Champions League in group stage in our country. That is on the 15th, and I reckon that on the 22nd.
The next week?
The following week. The
host will be announced.
The host will be announced by the AFC. So you can see that the timeline is pretty clear from the AFC side, and given that, taking that into account, we can safely confirm that those rumors being going on the past week are not true, and it's pretty much up in the air as of right now for the host of the World Cup qualifier.
Okay, thank you, Pode. So that's clarification on the news surrounding the World Cup matches. And like Pode just said, right? So countries that are interested to host the World Cup matches would need to also host the AFC Champions League group stage. And the FA is in talks with the two clubs participating in the group stage from Thailand, which is BG Pathum United and Port FC, to host their respective group in April and May. So the venue are still to be confirmed, and it's still in discussion, and more to follow on that maybe on the next episode once the hosting rights and other updates surrounding this issue develop, and we can talk about in depth more about it. We also had shocking news, I would say, in the AFC Champions League regarding the withdrawal of Shandong Luneng, the winner of the Chinese FA Cup in 2020, which is in the same group with our club, Port FC. So maybe we can play a little bit of prediction who will be replacing them, and how it will play it will play out for other groups with the Chinese team.
But just before we jump into that, maybe we give some details on why they were withdrew from the competitions.
So the reason, I think it was because of the club failing to meet one of the criteria in club licensing issue. That was the finance criteria surrounding the tax payment, the undue payable towards the employees, the players, and also the club couldn't meet the requirement and was withdrawn by the AFC control body, and they will be deciding based on the entry manual who will be taking up the places after the club has been withdrawn. According to the manual that governs the entry to the Champions League, in case of a club that meets the sporting criteria, in this case, the club got the sporting criteria to winning the FA Cup, and they got the group stage direct slot. But if in case the club cannot meet the club licensing criteria, in any case, they will be withdrawn out of the competition, and that slot will be reallocated to the next highest ranking club in the league ranking. So it doesn't go to the cup runner-up or the third club in the knockout competition, but the slot will be given to the next highest team in the league table, which is the second club from the league. That's the runner-up of the league. So as I recall, the runner-up of the CSL last year was Guangzhou Evergrande. Yes, and they will take the spot instead of the Shandong Luneng as our prediction. So that answers the question of who will be facing Port FC in the group stage. So from our perspective, I think Guangzhou Evergrande would be taking up the place of Shandong Luneng, and as the second club from China. And Beijing FC, which is originally playing in the playoff stage, will be upgraded to play in the direct slot as the third club from China. So they will be taking the spot of the previous Guangzhou Evergrande group. And lastly, Shanghai SIPG will be playing in the playoff stage instead of Beijing. So interestingly, that group, that playoff round, the winners will also qualify into the BG group in case they successfully win the playoff. So that is our prediction, but officially we still need to wait AFC to announce, or maybe they have other criteria to think about. But if we look into the regulation and how the draws are being conducted, that could be the possibility of replacement clubs from China and how it will impact the groupings of Thailand.
Yeah. So just to remind once again, this is solely our predictions on the possibility of which club will replace Shandong Luneng in Group J. So we will wait for the news from the AFC, as they are the only body that can decide on this matter, and we will bring you an update on that.
Correct.
As well.
But anyhow, the opponents will still be strong for Port FC. Meeting Guangzhou Evergrande is not an easy task, and definitely for BG group, in case Shanghai SIPG qualifies, then they still have a lot of work to do, and it doesn't mean that the quality will drop. It just means that they might meet a different club from China, and all of them, I think we can safely say, is a huge quality in the number of players that they have, and especially the foreign players. And it will be interesting of how Port FC can react against the former champions of the ACL. I think twice in 2013 and 2015. So they will have a huge point to prove if they want to overcome the group, and that is winning the giant from Guangzhou province in China. All right. I think that is it on the news update. And we are bringing you fresh idea to maybe spice things up a bit. Pote, you could maybe a little bit explain on it.
So especially this year, we have a lot of ASEAN players coming into the Thai League, and Lorenzo and I, we think that it'll be fun and interesting to see which ASEAN players are performing very well, successful ASEAN player, the rising stars, as well as the flop.
Yes. So I would say the unlucky one.
The unlucky one.
Maybe it didn't really, the plan didn't go out as planned. So we can call it the hot, the rising, and the flop. ASEAN players in Thai League. So this will be solely focused on the ASEAN players, excluding Australian and other ASEAN country which is not considered at the moment. So maybe we will start with the hot first. Those who have performed well, or they are really established themselves in the league, maybe not in terms of trophies, but at least they get the consent from all the Thai League fans that this player is good enough to play in the league and have been playing for a long time. So in my opinion, I think undoubtedly the best ASEAN players that have ever land foot in the league is Javier Patino from Philippines.
I would say that I would agree with you on this one.
Yes, he was a superb player under Buriram United when he first came to the country, and he's still playing in the league right now. So I think he has contributed so much for the league. Bringing the Thai football to the Filipino fans, and introducing them, and potentially also other Filipino players to be in the league right now.
Opening the door for them to come here.
That is like something that the Thai League will always be in depth of him in terms of like building reputation and fans in the ASEAN countries. But most importantly, I think winning the league 3 times with Buriram United is something that you cannot really look over.
Definitely. And I think that also what he gets from the Thai League, he brings them back to the ASCALs with the Philippines national team.
Correct.
And scoring, giving so much support to his team, and really strengthening the Philippines squad in the previous tournament, and delivering in the most decisive moment for the team in the Suzuki Cup, even the Asian Cup. So I think that Javier Patino is the player that we can agree on.
I think he's the hottest ever player that we have ever had in terms of ASEAN quota. That is only on his performance side, but we have to also take into account that when he left Buriram United to join the CSL, or the Chinese Super League, he also profited the Thai team with over €1 million in transfer fees. So I think that is something that he also contributed financially to the teams that brought him in and built him to the player that I think we can safely say that he is today.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
He's still not done. He's not over at the moment, and he's still going strong with Ratchaburi at the age of 32. Right? I think he can still safely play here for another year or two, or maybe a few more years. And in terms of this season, he has played 14 to 15 matches and scored 5 goals for the central teams from Ratchaburi. And they are sitting in the 5th place at the moment with chances of qualification to the ACL in 2022. So let's see how he does with that. And I think that is our first option that we agree on the hottest prospect in terms of ASEAN players. On to the next one, Pote.
So the next one is the Rising.
Correct. The rising star in this season, and maybe the past season. Who do you think, in terms of in this category, would fit your definition?
For me, the rising star, in my opinion, as of right now, would be the Myanmar superstar in the name of Ong Tu.
Correct.
So I think Ong Tu, he has 3 different stints in Thai League. First with Police Tero, second with Muang Thong United, and now with Buriram United. In his first stint with Police Tero, I think he helped his team a lot, bringing not only a different style of football to the team, but also expanding the market of ASEAN football of Thai League into Myanmar. So that brought a lot of fans, Myanmar fans, to the Thai League, as well as to Police Tero FC. He scored, I reckon, it was 13 goals
it was a second digit.
Second digit stats with Tero, although he didn't have a lot of goals with Muang Thong United because he didn't get that so many game time. But when he came on, he still showed his spark. Then he went back to Myanmar, and now with Buriram United, bringing him back to the Thai League, bringing him back to the full
second leg.
Now he has already scored 1 goal in the league against Ratchaburi FC. And even produced a very good performance when he came second half cameo against Port FC and produced a dazzling performance, good movement, and gelling with his team. So I reckon that Ong Tu would be my go-to choice for the rising star.
He'll be competing very tightly with our attacking midfielder from the national team, Super Show Sarachat, for the spot. So that would be an interesting competition between the Thailand national team and a very good player from Myanmar. So both of them, I think, talent-wise, they're really good, and let's see how he does for the rest of the season.
But it's interesting to see that Gama having faith in him and putting him on first starting lineup against Ratchaburi FC, and he created many chances, and I sincerely hope that he does well with the circumstances in Myanmar right now. So he's somebody and giving the joy back to the country here right now.
Especially having worked with Gama before in Muang Thong United, and now again with Buriram United. So I think he might be getting some minutes, especially when you consider how many matches are played across tight window. A lot of rotation will have to come into place, and his chance will surely come. It will be depending on him whether he can seize the opportunity or not. So that is your choice.
What about yours?
Mine, I think, would be the Singaporean defender. Personally, I always liked him, followed him throughout his development as a player, starting from his time in Singapore and now with the Thai League. And I think his family is a breed of great footballers.
And he goes by the name
Irfan Fadi,
right?
So I think everybody that follows ASEAN football know his father very well. A legendary player for Singapore national team, and was very successful at his age, at his times. And right now it's the son that is continuing his legacy, but not in Singapore, but in the Thailand, the land of smiles. So he came to BG Pathum United in 2019. Obviously, the team was not in a very not a very good situation. They were relegated to the Thai League 2, but he still came anyhow. I think he knew how quality the team is and how is the club being run, operated. So he didn't hesitate coming to play in the lower division of Thailand. And he played so many matches and was so crucial in gaining the promotion in just a year.
Yeah.
They won the T2 champion and came back in 2020.
Yeah.
So it took BG only a year to come back to the top league, and Irfan Fandi was a huge, key performance and players in that success.
Yeah.
And right now, he's still, participating. He's still playing and still going very strong with the Rabbits. And unfortunately, he was injured for a while in the beginning of the year, and he came back, I think, in the later part in September and October, but was not really still not very, in terms of physical wise. But right now, I think he's gluing very well with the other two defenders, top defenders like Victor Cardoso and Andres Tuyes, and with Irfan Fandi, the third defender in the lineup. I think every striker in the league will be so afraid to be facing these guys. The body size and the weight and physique of them is incredible, and their performance is really legit. Right now, BG is sitting in the top of the table with so many points from the second place, like Port FC. Right, so from my point of view, he's really good as a player, growing up, and he's still very young.
Yeah,
he has a long way to go for him, and I think he's gonna find success in Thai League, and hopefully he can bring more Singaporean fans to watch the league and follow him, especially and the BG Pathum United team. And I think it's a fair chance to say that he will be eyeing for the title this year.
Definitely.
And let's not forget that BG will also be playing in the group stage of the AFC Champions League, and he will be a key part of that team as well in April and May. So that is my choice, and I think we can both agree that both of the players are rising star and contributing hugely to the league. We have talked about the good ones, and now it's time to go to the some authorities that maybe I think can create a little bit of drama and some backlashes from the fans. So hands off now. We have no harm intentions. This is just pure comparing how much they were expected and how did the reality pan it out for them. So I'm gonna start first.
Okay. Save the best for last.
Save the best for last, and no harms towards any Myanmar fans. This is a hint. I think from my choice, the most players that were expected really highly but couldn't really perform is the Kyo Kogo. Right. He's the star striker of the Myanmar national team in the SEA Games around 2011. In the early 2010s, he was really a great player. He was also listed as one of the, I think, top 10 best world striker from some records. I cannot remember. Basically his reputation was very good in the national team stage, and also in the region. I think he was one of the really sought out players that when the league opened up the quota of ASEAN players,
the first
he was like the first one that the club were eyeing to get, and he came, I think, in 2018 with Chiang Rai United. But unfortunately, due to a very unfortunate injuries, I think in the very start of the season of the 2018, he didn't have time to play at all, and then he wandered around to Samut Prakan City and to Sukhothai, but also he didn't really pin down his mark or couldn't get the game time that he needed.
And he didn't produce like the performance that fans were expected of him.
Yes, he went back to Myanmar for a short stint, and now he's back again within Thailand, but with the second division club at Chiang Rai United. So I think the first time he came around, he played for the 3 Thai League 1 clubs, but due to his injury and the hangover from it, he couldn't really showcase his talent. And now he's back again with the lower division Chiang Rai United, a strong contender for the promotion place, and he's slowly getting the time. Right now, maybe still a little bit too early to say whether he will success or he's doing very great, but at least he's getting the game time and he's recovering well, and hopefully he can start to showcase that why he is considered as the best striker in Myanmar national team for a period. And maybe he can do what Irfan Fandi did.
Yeah.
You know, help the team gain promotion to T1, stay on and showcase his performance again in the top league. So my choice will be him, but not because that he doesn't have the talent that we need. Maybe the timing was off, or simply bad luck for him.
Yeah. That.
All right. So what about you? Who will be your choice?
Yeah. So it's very difficult for me to say, but I don't think it's a hard choice as well. I reckon that many of you will agree with me on this. My choice would be Muhammadu Sumare.
Yes.
Yeah. I think as you guys know, the fans of Everything Thai Football is one of the many guys we have interviewed. When he first joined Polistero, so much hype. So much hype was built around the Malaysian fans, the Thai media, even us. We were in the hype train.
Yeah. We know what he can do with the Malaysian national team.
Yes, exactly.
He scored the goal with the Thai national team. He took Tristondo out on the tour.
Yeah. And he totally destroyed us, when
in KL, right?
So. Yeah, in KL. We were there, basically watching that happen. Yeah. So so much hype, was built around this transfer from he left Pahang to join Polistero, and a lot was expected of him. And when he came, we knew that he didn't have that fitness level or didn't have that game time to get going when he joined instantly. But it took him very long, to get his first game, and that was a crucial loss to Suphanburi, a 5-0 loss to Suphanburi.
Rainy day.
Rainy day. And and I think he never really recovered from that, and not because that he's a great player, but I just think that so many elements prevented him from from getting on and getting back to his best, like what we saw in the World Cup qualifiers. And I think overall he played 3 games, and two of them was coming off the bench, and one of them as a starting 11. So safe to say that I think he would be my choice of for a flop player, playing in the Thai league. Yeah. That's harsh, but it's just the fact and reality that we are is that I wouldn't want to say that, but it is what it is.
It's a normal thing in football. There's people who success and there's people who fail. But anyhow, we will always remember his marks in the league, and he came here, brought in some Malaysian fans to the league, and hopefully, we can still stay with the flow. Maybe the clubs will be starting to get some more Malaysian players coming in, and then we can still have you guys in our community. But for those who success, I think it's safe to say that when you play in league that is not that big, I think we can safely say that we are not like the Premier League, we are not like the J League or those leagues that you can see some really good foreign players, and in some cases there are a lot of foreign players in the league. But if you are successful ASEAN players in the Thai league, that is something special. Right?
Yeah.
You are considered as a neighbor of the country. We have always been playing together in the AFF competitions,
the SEA Games,
Suzuki Cup, SEA Games, and when you do good things here, you'll be always remembered that you help the league and help the club build its reputation outside of the country, and that is something that maybe you cannot find in a success elsewhere in the bigger league. So I think that is something that can be taken into account when players coming into Thailand. They're thinking that maybe it's time for them to showcase their performance, and also at the same time is to bring up the level of the league, and it could be a jumping platform for them to go to a higher league. Like what Patino did with the CSL team.
But just before we leave on this subject, I wish Muhammadu Sumare all the very best at Johor. And hope he gets back to his best and produce all the great performance that he used to, and hopefully we'll see him again when Thailand play Malaysia.
In June in Buriram.
Hopefully.
So I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
And we are gonna be continuing giving this hype, this feeling of
Yeah.
discussion, maybe a little bit more on the this kind of
Yeah.
exchange of
Yeah.
the opinions, and we'll be really grateful if you guys can also
Share some ideas.
share some ideas, some feedback. Who is your hottest player? Who is your rising star?
Stars.
And who is your flop ASEAN players
Yeah.
that you think of when you think about Thai League? And you can leave them in the comment section,
Yeah.
and we'll be maybe taking up to the next video, maybe
Yeah.
reviewing it a bit,
Yeah.
and I think that's it for today.
Yeah. So guys, thank you once again for following us through all the platforms. I'm gonna say it again. Please like our video, share, subscribe, and comments if you like to, and then we definitely will get back to you with the comments.
All right, thank you guys, and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye bye.